In this video, I want to answer a question that gets asked of me on a regular basis, but this came from a member of my Facebook group, Notaries for Alabama Hangout. And I figured if she had this question, chances are there are going to be others in the group and here on my YouTube channel that may want to hear the answer. And the question is, I would like to follow up on loan signing agents. I have finally had to search it out and wanted more information. I'd like to know if this is a productive way to start a new notary business after retirement. I would appreciate any input on how well this service makes it, especially in Alabama. Thank you very much. So that's the question I want to answer in tonight's video, and I hope that you will join me. As always, I do better when there is a visual. I'm a visual learner, and so this will help keep me on track as well. My name is Michelle. For those who are new to my channel, I am a commissioned Alabama notary. I've been training notaries since 2013 here in the state, and I'm also the owner of Notaries for Alabama. So, notary signing agent, is it right for you? And keep in mind, my responses to this question is going to keep in mind that it came from someone who is planning their retirement. There's a lot of information out there on social media, here on YouTube about notary signing agents. What makes this video different is I am answering the question for those of you who are here in the state of Alabama. As a notary signing agent, you're going to be wearing two hats at any given time. You're going to wear your notary public hat, and then you'll be wearing the hat of an administrative clerk. And so third-party vendors or companies will be emailing documents to you to take to their customers here in Alabama to get their customers to sign documents, and some of those documents will also require notarization. Not all of them, but some of them will require notarization. Some documents will require that their customer fill out some forms. You, as a signing agent, will be required to also complete or fill out some forms. You may also be asked to collect funds, a certified check from the customer. And after you meet with the customer, it's your responsibility to get those documents back to the company who hired you. And you'll do that by really two ways. Most of the time, you're going to be required to scan the documents in, send them electronically, and then get to a FedEx or a UPS store and overnight the documents back to the hiring party. Typically, it could be the lender, the title officer, or a signing service. Notice I said administrative clerk. I could have said administrative assistant, administrative executive, but it really is clerk duties, meaning you will be given instructions on what is expected of you and how to do the duties. what steps to take. You'll be given a page of instructions, what color ink to use, whether documents need to be initialed, what date to use on the document, how many copies to print, printing instructions, whether to use letterhead, I'm sorry, whether to use legal size paper or letter size paper. Um, so you are the clerk. You will be reading instructions, and the expectation is you will follow those instructions to a T. It will be rare that you will make independent decisions on your own. Instead, you are going to check with the hiring parties or whoever your primary contact is designated to be for guidance and for questions to be answered. The expectation is that you are going to know your state notary laws. The parties that hire you typically are from out of state. They may not know Alabama notary laws as well as you do. And the expectation is that you know them inside and out. You know when to administer an oath, when not to, how to fill out the notarial certificate, what to do if the signer doesn't have valid ID. So again, two hats, Alabama Notary Public hat, and then the hat of an administrative clerk. All right, so now back to the question. Is this right for you? Someone who is either already retired or about to retire. Um, the internet says that it is. The internet says that it's easy. The internet also says you can make $100,000 or more doing it. So, is it right for you? I think that it is or can be right for you. As long as, give me 1 second, I knew I would jump the gun there. Let's see if I can back it up. I feel notary signing agent may be right for you if you have other sources of income. So if you have a pension, a regular pension payment coming in, Social Security, your partner or spouse's check income is coming in, then yes. If you and it's regular income, consistent income, then yes, this would be a good option. If you have flexible availability, what I mean by that is if you are typically available during business hours, Monday through Friday, if you're also free during the evening hours, I'd say from 5 till 8 p.m. Most evenings, this is right for you. The companies that hire notary signing agents prefer to work with individuals who can be available even sometimes on the weekends, on Saturdays. If you can demonstrate that, they're more apt to send you more work because they may have cancellations by other notary signing agents. An assignment may come up out of nowhere and it needs to be completed today. And if they know that, generally speaking, you can be available, that's a great thing. This is why it's not always uh, good for those of us who work a 9 to 5 job. Yes, there are appointments during the evening hours, but again, sometimes the customer may work third shift and The only time they're going to be available is once they are up in between going to work and going to bed, getting their rest. Notary signing agent is right for you if you have excellent communication skills. You are going to be meeting with a broad range of individuals, um, folks who are highly educated, very wealthy, individuals who have very limited education and are not very wealthy. If you are bilingual, that is definitely a plus. And it can be bilingual Spanish, it could be bilingual German, Chinese. So if you know other languages, that's great. But back to communication skills, I'm not just referring to how you speak or what language you speak, but the ability to um, explain to the customer what they need to do in order to assist with the signing process. They will have questions. Some of the questions you will need to be able to answer. There are some things you will be expected to explain, and then there will be times when those questions go beyond the role of notary signing agent, and so then you'll need to get the hiring party on the line, on the phone to speak with the customer. But again, good communication skills because you will be sitting across from the customer at a table, getting them through sometime a stack of documents and reassuring them that you have their best interest at heart and that you are there to assist them and to put their fears and concerns to rest. Notary signing agent is right for you if you have reliable transportation. I would say 80% of the time you will be, it's really higher than that, but you will be driving to the customer's home in order to obtain signatures on these documents. The documents can be um, for when a homeowner is refinancing their loan on their home. It could be a customer who has bought investment property. It could be a customer who has moved here from another state and just found out they sold their home in Virginia or in California or Nevada, and their lender or their realtor has mailed the documents to them and said, hey, go find a notary. Someone could be changing the terms of their existing mortgage. Someone could have received a settlement from an accident or inherited monies, commercial loans. Someone could be starting a business and took out a commercial loan, and those documents need to be signed, completed, signed, and notarized. And grandma, grandpa may have taken a reverse mortgage out on their property. And so they need to complete an application process and then eventually closing documents. So it's a variety of documents. People who are buying a car from, and it's being financed from a lender or bank in another state. Those documents may need to be signed and notarized. So you're getting in your car, driving to them, typically at their home. It might be their job. It may be a public location, but the expectation is that you go to them. The customer and the hiring party determine where the meeting location will be. And if you are relying on borrowing someone's vehicle or having someone pick you up and drop you off, that is not reliable transportation because it will probably lead to a missed deadline. Notary signing agent is for you if you are fine with sedentary work. There is a lot of sitting with this role. Again, you're going to be driving to and from the customer's location. You're going to be driving to and from FedEx, UPS store. You're going to be seated at your home office, doing scanning, emailing, responding to questions. So very sedentary. You will do well if the demand for notary signing agents is high and the supply of agents is low in your area. What I'm suggesting here is that there are some counties and some cities that aren't oversaturated with notary signing agents, and that's where you'll do well. There are cities and counties where there are numerous notaries and signing agents, and you won't do so well there. So it is basic economics, supply and demand. Where there is a lot of signing agents, typically you're going to see the fees that get paid to the signing agent will be lower than the fees will be in areas where there is a lack of available signing agents. Notary signing agent may be right for you if you have strong technology skills. All right. If you are very comfortable using PDF, if you have a reliable laptop, desktop computer, and you are comfortable creating profiles on different signing agent websites, or even creating a website of your own, because you will need to let the signing agent community know that you are open and available for work. And so creating a profile or an account on certain websites is required. Scanning, using a laser printer and scanner. There are many signing agents that find it beneficial setting up their car with a mobile scanner or printer and have a miniature office in their vehicle. That makes them more, I don't want to say, is it marketable or better prepared to take on last minute assignments that come their way. So again, if you are not comfortable using email, using the computer, using printers and scanners, downloading documents, troubleshooting computer equipment and printers, it's going to pose a problem. Okay, you will not be as successful. It's great if you have a real estate background. It's also going to be helpful if you're a homeowner. I say that because the majority of the documents that you'll be asked to present to customers are going to be tied to, in some form or fashion, real estate. And I know when I got started back as a signing agent back in 2006, my mentor was really helpful to me because she was a homeowner and was able to recognize many of the documents or the types of loans because of her own personal experience. And so she was able to help get me up to speed. You're going to also need an entrepreneurial mindset. I kind of hinted at this earlier, where being a notary signing agent doesn't mean that you get the certifications and then you sit and wait for someone to call you. The expectation is that you are going to have to find work. You're going to have to put yourself out there, market yourself to let the right people know that you were available and that you were trained and you were ready to help. Um, Unless you do those steps, they're not going to know that you are open for work or available for work. I'll talk more about how to do that just a little bit. Notary signing agents need excellent reading and comprehension skills. Granted, I'm not saying that you've got to read all of the documents that you'll be presenting, but you are expected to be able to read detailed instructions from the hiring party that explains exactly what is expected of you to do and what you cannot do when interacting with their client. So the customer that you're working with is not your customer. It's really the hiring party's customer. And you're there in meeting with them, representing a lender, a title company, a law firm, and other financial services entities. You can't fake reading and comprehension skills. If this is something you struggle with, don't put yourself in that position. Now, it's possible that if you let the hiring party know that you struggle with that, then the two of you may be able to, the reading and comprehension between the two of you, perhaps you can meet in the middle and come up with another way, a better way, a different way for you to understand the instructions that come along with the documents. And then you need emotional intelligence. This is so important, and I think it doesn't get talked about enough. Emotional intelligence is you being able to control your own emotions, because this can be a stressful role. Um, the customer, the person you're meeting with, may have had a tough day, may have been arguing with the lender, may have just gotten served divorce papers. They're angry, they're upset, and you're going to need to know how to work through that and not get defensive, and essence adding fuel to the fire. You'll need that emotional intelligence when talking with the hiring party. This is really important when you may feel that you deserve a higher fee than they're offering. You may have made mistakes at the signing table. Maybe you didn't read or fully understand what was outlined in the instruction sheet, and now you're being asked to return for a second time, and you want to be paid for going back out. With emotional intelligence, you're going to just keep that same business-like, calm tone and turn on those listening ears and have a professional adult conversation with the hiring party. And when you're back out to the signer, you're not going to get there and complain and say that the person that you're doing this loan through is really a moron and they didn't want to pay me. That's not emotional intelligence. And more importantly, not only are you keeping yourself calm, but you'll be able to help diffuse any tension, anger, emotional outbursts by the signer. Thankfully, those situations don't happen every single appointment, but they do happen. And if you can push through those difficult moments, know when to just relax, sit back, give them time, suggest they take a break, um, it'll go a long way. I'm going to pause here because I think we're about to go to a different set of comments and questions. If you're finding this information helpful to you and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I want to encourage you to go ahead and do so. My goal is to get as much information out on YouTube to help Alabama notaries find the videos and be able to make the right decisions for them. Now, I am of the opinion that becoming a notary signing agent may not be for you if you're only relying on the money you get from the loan signings. Why? Because the pay from being a notary signing agent fluctuates month to month. And it definitely isn't passive income. It does not fall under that umbrella. You know, nowadays folks will say, oh, yeah, what the goal is to get passive income. So that money just comes in. You did all the work up front and then it just comes. This is not passive. To get checks to come in each month means you need to do a certain number of appointments at a certain rate of pay. There will be times when you cannot control how many appointments you do and what the fee will be. You have some influence on that, but you don't control it. Because even after you've done the work correctly, you still have to wait for that money to come either by a paper check in the mail or to be automatically deposited in your account. And unfortunately, every week I am reading in the different notary Facebook groups, in social media, I'm still hearing about some hiring companies that are slow to pay their signing agents. And unfortunately, there are some who are dropping the ball altogether and not only slow, but have not always paid for the work that was performed by the signing agent. The length of time a signing agent has to wait to be paid varies, and all of that gets talked about when you, the signing agent, enter into a contract or an agreement with the hiring parties. So again, if this is your only source of income and you need to be paid quickly, this is not for you. If you have unreliable transportation, you're driving an older truck or older vehicle that tends to break down and And I'm not knocking. I drive a hoopty myself, but that won't work because as soon as you accept an appointment to meet with a customer, the expectation is you will be there. You will not turn it back. And to do so, you could probably get away with it once with one company. Anything more than that, it's going to be a major issue. Speaking of major issues, if you have major health problems, this is not for you. What I mean by that, I really should say chronic health issues. If you are dealing with health issues that could cause you, again, to accept an appointment, say you're available, and then once you confirm that appointment, all of a sudden now you can't go for health reasons and any reasons, it's a very bad look. It is difficult for the hiring parties to be understanding in that situation. Absolutely, life happens. I know here in Alabama, as you know, we have seasons of very bad weather, and a hiring party in California probably doesn't understand the difference between a tornado watch versus a tornado warning. I can say to you, no one would ever expect the signing agent to put themselves in harm's way. But again, if I know I have a chronic medical problem that can flare up at a moment's notice and have me unable to travel, unable to do appointments, I need to keep that in mind and only accept appointments when I know, all right, this looks like a good week, so let me get as much work in as I can this week because next week I know I'm going to have some treatments that I'm going to need to undergo. And after those treatments, I need to be home resting. So, again, I don't want to give you the impression you must be in perfect, pristine health. I don't know many people who are, but if more days than not, you need to be home resting, I think you should look to a different occupation. It's important for you to know that competition can be very stiff, especially here in Alabama, and especially in the larger counties. And so there are a lot of signing agents that hiring parties can choose from, they're going to be picky. And in many cases, that competition may be younger individuals who don't have a problem driving at night, and who have the latest and greatest technology. And so when a request comes in through a text or a platform, they're able to quickly snatch it while you're still reading and still having questions about whether this is an assignment you want to take. Now, don't come at me. I am not assuming that retired individuals, older individuals, um, aren't not technologically strong. I'm an older individual and I have good technology skills, but there are some younger folks who can run. My goddaughter can run circles around me, and I just accept that. All right. This is not for you, the notary signing agent role, if you don't like change. I first became a signing agent in July 2006, and I did it sometimes full time, sometimes part-time up until 2017. And in that time frame, quite a few years, a lot changed for notary signing agents. And now in 2025, from 2017 to 2025, it's changed even more. And so, yes, you should expect there to be changes where they could say from now on, you need to request. We're putting all the work requests on a totally different platform, and the way you get called is if you speak to this AI representative. I mean, it's and I do expect artificial intelligence to make its way into this field eventually. And so you want to keep that in mind. This is a field that does evolve over time. And if you're going to invest and go down this path, you need to be aware of that. So when you see the change coming, you can adapt. I want to give you a better example and reason why I, in 2017, made the decision to move my focus towards handling general notary work versus being a notary signing agent. When I got started in 2006, most of the appointments I was asked to that was given to me came through the phone. My phone would ring and a scheduler would say, Michelle, we have a closing in your city for such and such date at such and such time. I would then be able to ask questions. What type of loan is it? How many signers? Um, what else would I ask? Do you need fax backs? What fee are you offering? And based on their answers, I would say either yes or no. And if I said yes, they would email me a confirmation, tell me when the documents would be emailed to me to print, and reach out and let the customer know that I've been assigned to them and I'll see them on this date at that time. That's how it was when I got started. Then over a period of years, I started getting those requests through email. And now in 2025, more and more notaries are creating profiles on platforms. And so everyone in a given zip code sees the same request for a signing agent. And the first one who clicks on it and says, yes, I'm available, and yes, I'll accept the fee that you're offering, that's how they get assigned the work. So again, there are many signing agents who prefer the new method and can adapt. So again, what will the change look like in another 5 or 10 years? I'm not sure. But I have one thing in mind. It's going to come up on the next slide, but there will be change. I think notary signing agent is not for you. I hinted at this earlier if you struggle with technology. And you know if you're strong with technology or not. And if it really is your Achilles heel, then I suggest you do something else. Another change that is on the horizon, it's already arrived in some other states is RON. That's abbreviation or an acronym for Remote Online Notarization. That has not arrived here in Alabama as of yet, but more and more loan closings are being migrated to be handled online. And so the customer can be at home or wherever, and either they're on their laptop or desktop. Hopefully, they're not on their phone. It'll be a little more challenging. And then you would be at home on your desktop or laptop on the other side of a camera, bringing documents up on the screen for the signer to sign off on. So I definitely see that coming to Alabama sooner than later. And so that is kind of what I mean by being prepared for change, because what you'd hate to do is, again, invest money, time, training for your notary signing agent business to then find out you need to later purchase new equipment and use a method that is very slow and tedious for you. Notary signing agent is not for you if you're a worrywart. That's the nicest way. I should have put scaredy cat. You will be going into people's homes. It may sometimes just be you and one other person. It may be you and an entire family. They may have dogs running around, and if you have a fear of dogs, that's a big deal. You could ask them to put the dogs up, but they may say, no, I'm sorry, our dogs aren't, they don't go up. We don't put them up. But more importantly, some individuals are afraid for their safety, especially in 2025. And if that is always, in front of you, if you're like, there's no way I can go into a stranger's house, keep in mind they have been vetted to a point by the lender, by the title company. But if you still are concerned about your safety, I think you're better off finding a different role. If you can't afford the startup costs for being a notary signing agent, I put $2,000. I'm missing a dot there, but it's $2,000. That's a pretty good estimate of what you'll need to come out of pocket for equipment for signing agent. One of the biggest expenses you'll need is a reliable two-drawer printer, laser printer. Um, and the list goes on. I'll get into more detail about exactly all of the supplies you need, but when you factor in getting your commission, getting your signing agent training, then the home office equipment, it can come very close to $2,000. Now, if you already have the equipment or can get it used, that is great, but you don't want to shortchange yourself. Don't say you can wing it. My first notary signing agent appointment was a disaster in 2006 because I didn't understand the difference between a laser printer and an inkjet printer. I'm really embarrassed to even admit that right now. I remember seeing, yeah, you need a laser printer. I saw something in writing to that effect, but I was like, my inkjet is fine. I always print things from the internet, and my term papers, my research papers print fine on there. No, you've got to invest. Don't cut corners at all. If you don't know your notary laws, this is not for you. The hiring parties, keep in mind, they're in other states most of the time. Some will be here in Alabama, and some of the people hiring you may be notaries themselves and can help coach you on some things. But the expectation is you know your state notary laws. And if you hate driving, the idea of leaving your warm house to go out and get signatures on documents just drives you nuts. This is not for you because, again, you will be driving from your home to the appointment, from the appointment, possibly back home, then to FedEx, then to UPS, and then on to the next appointment. Granted, you can decide how many appointments to take on in a given day, so that's good. But the more appointments you accept, you're more likely to build yourself a positive reputation. And if you're doing accurate work because you know your notary laws and you can read and comprehend those instructions, signing agent instructions, and you follow them to the T, you should have plenty of work coming your way, keeping you busy. All right. Don't pay attention to those images. They mean nothing. I didn't feel like looking for images that better described the process. So for those of you who aren't sure on how to become a notary signing agent, it is quite simple. You're going to start off by getting your notary commission. You'll need to complete some basic notary training. Then I recommend that you take the next 6 to 12 months and practice. Study your laws, practice, get comfortable notarizing signatures on documents because it's not as easy as people think that it is. Your work has to be perfect. Your notarizations have to be error-free. You're also checking the customer's information. You're checking their signatures, their initials. When they're asked to fill out documents, you're checking what they wrote to make sure that it's accurate. After you've got some practice and you're like, yeah, I got this. This makes sense. I enjoy it. Then go ahead and complete the National Notary Association's signing agent certification course. The NNA, as they're known, their training course and certification is recognized throughout the United States. Yes, there are at least 20 or 30 other companies out there selling their signing agent training and certification. But guess what? Most of them mean nothing to the hiring parties. They haven't heard. I get asked quite a bit, Michelle, do you do signing agent training? I wish you would. I don't. Um, what you need is the NNA certification. They'll also do the background check, which is required for their certification. And this is really important for those of you getting started. Now, after you have established yourself, you may get some customers that's like, you don't have to worry about the certification. That's possible. But starting out, you will need that. There will be companies that will also ask you to make sure you have some errors and omission insurance. It's called Notary E&O insurance. If you check in the description, I'll include a link where you can purchase that. For me, I do sell Notary E&O insurance. I am licensed to sell that in Alabama and several other states. So I am not trying to tell you don't go anywhere else for training. I am saying don't go anywhere else for the signing agent certification. Get it from the NNA, especially the first time around. And then later, and you will want to get additional training. I am not naive. I've been certified by the NNA many times when I kept my certification active when I did notary signing agent work. But I always needed some more information. It's like any training and any certification. You're not going to learn everything all at once. It comes over time. I still have the loan document source book for signing agents. I bought it from the National Notary Association. It was very helpful to me in learning about the different documents that I'll be working, that signing agents work with on a regular basis. So I encourage you to check out the loan document source book, excuse me, by the National Notary Association. Now, I am not promoting them. I don't get paid for mentioning them. I'm just letting you know that whether you are hired by a company in California, Nebraska, Maine, Minnesota, Florida, they know about their certification. Number 6, you're going to need to get the word out that you are open for work. And one of the ways you do that is you reach out to companies and provide them with your credentials, your commission, your NNA certification, your E&O insurance, and where you live and what your travel territory will be, and let them know you want to work with them. They may have some additional training requirements and other requirements, and you'll need to satisfy those. The best way to find out about what companies to sign up with is to network with notaries in your state. If you're in Alabama, I encourage you to join my Facebook group, Notaries for Alabama Hangout, and we'll point you in the right direction. There are other Facebook groups for signing agent, and there's some groups that tell you what companies to avoid because they are either slow to pay or there are times when they don't pay. So you cannot be isolated in this role. You're going to need to network with other notaries in your county, in your state, other notary signing agents to find out who's hiring, who isn't, who's good to work for, who isn't. So again, what about Alabama? What about the state of Alabama? So again, going back, remember the question. The question was, is being a signing agent a good thing here in Alabama, post-retirement. And we are different. Our state is different. Compare us to Florida, to California, to Maryland, DC, New York. No, it's not the same. And so when you listen to folks on the internet, content creators, talking about how much money you can make doing this, just keep in mind that Alabama is different. We may not have as many real estate transactions. The volume won't be the same. Here in Alabama, usually, not always, but usually when families are buying a home or selling property, they're going into the title office or a lawyer's office to get that done. Now, they may have a notary there, they will have a notary present, but they're less apt to send those documents out to a signing agent and say, go get this sold. Does that mean we're an attorney only state? I won't go so far as to say that. But in some other states, there are signing agents that routinely are doing buyer seller packages. I already mentioned that we don't have remote online notarization here in Alabama. We do have remote ink notarization, but because that process takes a longer period of time, um, usually it is not the first option that lenders and title companies will go to or turn to do a closing. I'm going to come off of the PowerPoint. That was my last slide. So, notary signing agent, I think it's right for you. Again, if it's not your only source of income and you're retired, you've got either your spouse's check coming in, pension, retirement, something else, and you're really looking for an extra $300 to $400 a month, that's doable. I'm not saying that's all you will make a month, but once you're up and running and things are going well, you can count on at least that much coming in. Keep in mind, a lot depends on location. We've got 67 counties here in Alabama. What Madison County signing agents see as far as opportunities may be different in Coffee County. On the other hand, Coffee County may have fewer signing agents. So the one or two signing agents there may be busy all the time. So before you invest a lot of money, and I want to go back to that, I wish I could say someone remind me. I want to go back to training, but let me just go ahead and say it. Before you invest a lot of money in training, make sure there is a need in your community, in your county for signing agents. How are you going to get that information? There are at least 10 ways, but one way I want to share with you is head down to the courthouse where documents like mortgages and deeds get recorded. Speak with the clerks there, get a feel, and see how many come through on a month. And if you're seeing some activity, you're going to also see which lenders and title companies are handling those transactions. Reach out to them. Ask them if they're in need of a signing agent. But if the clerks are telling you, or once you go through these public records and you see it's just two or three a month, that may be your answer, that unfortunately, right now, not much is happening in your county. And back to training, you don't need to spend a ton of money on training. You need training, but it shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg. I come across so many Alabama notaries who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on just one. Did I say thousands? Yes, several thousands, not hundreds of thousands of dollars on training that is not specific to Alabama and is not required. Um, I mean, yeah, it's really shocking, and I think it's because the excitement of it, I don't know, but there will be plenty of people out there making promises just to get their hands in your pocket. Don't fall for it. And again, if you network with other Alabama notaries, you can ask, hey, I'm thinking about taking this person's class or course. I'm thinking of signing up with them every month. It'll cost me $40 a month. This directory, online directory, isn't any good. Ask other notaries before you spend. I appreciate your time. I hope you found this information helpful. If so, please give it a thumbs up and then subscribe to the channel. I'll be continuing to put out information that I believe will be helpful to you and your family as you make these important decisions about whether to pursue becoming a notary signing agent, a traveling notary, just a notary for your community. And my name is Michelle, and I really appreciate you tuning in. Make it a great day.